Hey Ellie, what do you think we should do our next video on? You know what? You're right. That's been on my list for a while. Let's go check it out. Alright. Let's get into this, shall we? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Demos Gaming, and today we're going to be playing Doom with the Call of Doom Black Warfare mod by Arrowwood. So, the Unseen Walrus had made a comment on the channel recently to give us a shot specifically with the Hell on Earth Starter Pack WAD, and holy crap, is this a lot of fun to play. The two just work really well together, but the main purpose of the video today is going to be looking at the Black Warfare mod, and just trying to see if we can cover it as much as possible and get as much as we can out of it. Like I always say, my main goal is to just kind of see how fun it is, like how everything works together. I'm not really into the technical aspects of it. I just want to know, is it fun? And yes, this is fun. It makes you feel like a fucking badass. So a couple disclaimers right off the bat. I am playing on the Brutal Doom version of this. There are two of them. You can play it with Brutal Doom, it kind of integrated in, and it just all works well together, or you can play the vanilla version. I wanted to give it a little bit more of a challenge, a little bit more complexity, so of course I did the Brutal Doom version, but you can try either one you want. And the other disclaimer would be that I actually ended up playing on two different versions of it, kind of by accident. I played a lot on a beta version that I thought was the final version, and it turns out there's a much newer one that the big differences are basically the big differences are there's more weapons, the weapon models look a lot different, a lot better actually. The way the controls work are a little bit different, some gameplay things, but that's basically it. And then the way that the beginning of the game works is a bit different. You can start with anywhere from, like, you know, unlimited amount of weapons all the way down to 1 if you really want to go fucking hardcore. I just ended up going with all of them because I wanted to be able to try out all the weapons. That's the whole point of doing this video, right? Huh? So, what is the Black Warfare mod? Basically, it's a weapons mod. It adds in tons of weapons, tons of pistols, SMGs, shotguns, different kinds of rifles, all kinds of different rifles, some explosive weapons as well, and then some weird things. It's kind of like an explosive BFG. I don't really know what the hell it is. And then you even get stuff like C4 that you can throw and then remote detonate. You have claymores that you can put down, and monsters, when they walk over them, explode into tiny little pieces. And then some of the gameplay enhancements are little things like you have night vision goggles, you have a flashlight that you can use to illuminate those dark areas. There's grenades, of course, you know, you can't live without grenades. And there's two different kinds. There's regular explosive grenades, and then there are stun grenades, which I ended up not really using at all because I don't want to stun them. I want to blow them back to hell where they came from. And then another really cool thing that they added in is there's a phone that you can find, and once you do, you can actually call up reinforcements or teammates to come and help you clear out Hell's denizens from wherever the hell you're trying to clear them out from. And you have options of different people. You have like kind of a SWAT team squad that you can pull in, you have like a military squad of dudes that you can pull in, and then various kind of anime-ish looking characters that you can pull in that all have their own stats, so definitely look through and figure out what kind of characters you want to bring into your game to help you out. There are, of course, ways that you can call them to you. You know, if they end up getting stuck in another room, you can bind the control to like a specific button to have them follow you. Now, that I found didn't work super well. There were certain characters that it didn't really seem to work at all. I'm not sure. That one's a little bit janky.
Let's go! I'm moving in!
Oh, now you're here. Jesus. Now that's another difference between the two versions of it. The original version, the phone is just for calling reinforcements, but in the newer version, the phone can also be used to call in like medical supplies or weapons and that kind of thing. So I would definitely check out the newer one. Like I said, about the only reason to play the older one is it gives you more ammo, like more total ammo that you can carry once you pick up the backpack. In the newer version, it doesn't really seem like you can carry as much ammo, but that's fine. It's not really that big of a deal. Ammo is very plentiful in every level, so I highly doubt that you'll ever run out. Now, one of the coolest things about this mod is all the different firing modes. You can change weapons from, you know, semi-automatic to full automatic to burst fire. You can dual wield a lot of weapons. There are some weapons that have silencers on them, so you can go around shooting monsters with silencers, and if they're turned the other way, you know, it won't alert the other ones, which is a really, really nice thing to kind of add in. For those times that you want to go kind of the stealthy route. You can even find an upgrade for your shotgun that will actually allow you to fire explosive rounds. And I think that works in the newer version and some of the other weapons as well. And once you find that, yeah, you can just switch your shotgun over to firing an explosive round. Because explosive weapons aren't super common in this mod. Like, you'll find them, but they're pretty rare, so you gotta find them in like secrets and that kind of thing. And there are tons of different ammo types. I didn't really get into that too much. I saw 9mm, I saw 45 ACP, I saw 5.56. I mean, you name it. There's all kinds of different ammo types in there, so that's not really super important, other than you don't want to just sit there and kind of unload on one type of ammunition, otherwise you will run out. So you have to switch it up. It's, you know, kind of like Doom Eternal in that sense of you can't stick with the same weapon for too long, otherwise you will fucking run out of ammunition for it. Now, one of the coolest things I'd have to say this mod allows you to do is you can switch out your weapons. One thing I will mention, I should have probably mentioned earlier, is the very first thing that you want to do when you hop into this mod is bind all the controls. I found myself going back and continually like binding the controls to make sure that I had it set up in a way that would, where I could really utilize everything that the game had to offer. But one of the things that you really want to bind is the ability to drop weapons. Sometimes you will find a weapon that's a little bit better than whatever it is that you have, and it'll be taking up the same slot, like the number 2, or it'll be like another shotgun, and you can't carry like an unlimited amount at one time, unless you have it set for that, of course. But this will allow you to drop a weapon and pick up a new one of the same type. So you can just endlessly try out all the different weapons that you find on the ground. Just make sure that if you see a weapon that looks new, give it, you know, walk up to it and it'll tell you what it is, and give it a shot. There's all kinds of different options. The amount of weapons in here are absolutely ridiculous, so please swap out your weapons from time to time and try out some new things. Be adventurous, damn it! Now, while this mod is great and it will make you feel like a badass, I mean, there's even like a samurai sword. You know, if you really want to get into that kind of thing, there's even a samurai sword, for crying out loud. But there's one con I'd have to say that I did find, and it was mainly in the beta version of the game, so I think the newer one has more of this in there, but I never really found myself with too many weapons that were like the typical, like, oh shit plasma weapons of the original Doom, like the plasma gun and the BFG. Sometimes in certain maps you will find yourself in a situation where you absolutely need to clear out the room with a click of the button, and this mod really didn't have too many weapons that would give you that ability, or at least not too many weapons that you could easily find anyway. I mean, explosive weapons were really difficult to find. So that would be about the only thing, is to be careful in those situations, you know, where you're absolutely surrounded. You're gonna need to use cover, you're gonna need to duck behind corners, and then absolutely call as many teammates as you possibly can. I think you can have up to 3 at one time following you around and helping you out. Another really cool thing about this is how the medikits work. So when you pick them up, they actually go into your inventory, and then you'll really need to bind a key. You're better off doing it. I think you can press 0 in the newer version, and it will kind of cycle through a couple different things. But you should definitely bind it to a specific key and then use it. And you can use it at any time. Just make sure that you're obviously not in the middle of combat, you know. But but you can just pull them out and use it. And I think it'll go up to 100. Sometimes it'll go a little bit past if you're, you know, kind of getting close to that number. Now, in the beta version, you can carry up to 10 of these. In the newer version, you can only carry 6, if I remember correctly. I think that is the max that you can carry. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Once again, I never really found myself in a situation where I was constantly needing to use them, especially on the difficulty that I was on, which was Ultra Violence and Brutal Doom. And I was good to go. I feel like I probably could have jacked it up maybe a little bit, and it would have been a little bit more challenging, but it was a lot of fun. You know, I had a good time playing on that specific difficulty. Anything higher than that might have really fucking pissed me off. And finally, one really helpful item that you can find is a beacon that you can actually place down, and when you activate it, it pulls out an attack helicopter to shoot the shit out of anything that you're around. Now, you're going to want to do this in a wide open area. There's one specific spot in the second episode of Extermination Day where it comes in quite handy with a Spider Mastermind. Now, to talk about how this all works with the Hell on Earth Starter Pack and Brutal Doom. Well, like I said earlier, it works really, really well together. Of course, you know, like I said, if you've never played the Hell on Earth Starter Pack, what are you waiting for? Play it, for crying out loud. Basically, the whole idea behind that is they were trying to recreate the vibe of, like, the original Doom 1 and some aspects of Doom 2 as well, and give you 3 whole episodes that you can play through. I think it's a good 30, 32 levels, something like that. It's a lot. I ended up playing through the first episode and then got a little bit into the second episode before I had to kind of end it, but I definitely feel like I want to finish it out with this mod because this is a lot of fun to play. I mean, seriously, it's really, really cool. And it works really well together. The other thing to keep in mind is obviously, you know, in the original Doom, once you got to the end of the each episode, I should say, you would lose all your weapons when you start on the next one. But what's really cool about this is if you get to the end of the first episode, it takes you right into the second episode. You can keep all the same weapons. You can keep all your people, too. That was the one thing I kind of noticed is, like, there were certain teammates that when I went to the next level, they actually, like, fucking disappeared. And then there's other teammates that will follow you through, so I don't know if that's a bug or if there are certain ones that just don't follow you through. That may have been, like, you know, in the instructions for them and I just didn't notice it. I'm not sure. You know, going from the first episode into the second one, I was able to keep all my stuff, all my weapons, so when you get to the end, you're not going to be in, like, major trouble, because holy shit, when you start the third episode, that sucks. That is not fun at all, pistol starting that shit. Now, of course, the Hell on Earth Starter Pack, or Extermination Day, and Brutal Doom were both made by Sergeant Mark IV, so they work really, really well together. And then, like I said, when you combine it with this mod, it just gives you so many options, so many cool things that you can do. I just really can't say enough good things about it. The Unseen Walrus, thank you very much for suggesting this. I had a fucking blast playing through all this. And I definitely intend to, like, go through and completely finish it out, you know, finish all 3 episodes, because it's been a ton of fun. I will keep saying it's been a ton of fun, because it's been a ton of fun. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like, and if you enjoy this kind of content, then absolutely explode that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. So anyway, I will see you on the next episode. In the meantime, if you find yourself in a situation where it's Hell on Earth, you know, Extermination Day, and you need to kill some demons, well, call up some of your friends, call them up in your little satellite phone, bring in your attack helicopters, get all kinds of weapons and stuff, and just start shooting and blowing them up and doing all kinds of stuff. By the way, there's a tactical lean mod, and I completely forgot to check that out. There's also, like, some extra weapons, it looks like. So yeah, there are a couple add-ons that you can try out if you want to have the ability to do that kind of stuff. I may have to try that out and just, you know, give it a shot. And who knows, I may end up doing a playthrough of the, you know, all of Extermination Day in the future at some point in time. So once again, I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.